Hey everybody, welcome to 12 Weeks of Christmas. My name is Leslie Benson. If you're new here, I am the founder of the Plaid Poodle. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love to share card making, inspiration, and paper crafting projects to the world. Today begins 12 weeks of Christmas. Every week I'll be sharing a project tutorial with you, and I'm very excited about today's project. So I'm going to turn the camera around and put my little head in the corner. Hello, thank you for being here. This is the project we're making today. It's a little Frosty the Snowman top hat. It's a treat holder. It's about 2 inches wide by 3 inches tall, so it's big enough to hold plenty of goodies. I think these would be adorable at your dinner place settings, at your holiday dinners. I think they would be gorgeous for a hostess gift or a coworker gift, or bring a basket full of them to your book club. Stick a gift card in there for a teacher. I just think they could be used for multiple situations this holiday season. So to make the project, let's get started. I'm going to try and prop it up over here so you can look at the finished sample. I'll stick that die in there. That kind of helps. While we create from scratch. To begin with, first of all, during my 12 weeks of Christmas, I do provide a full color PDF instruction sheet, and this is a step-by-step instruction for you to complete the project, and I will be sending these out every week. If you're on my mailing list, they'll come directly to your inbox. If not, please go over to my blog, theplaidpoodle.com, and you'll be able to find a place where you can download these. You can print them out and use them for your personal use during the holidays. Okay, to start off with, we're going to take a piece of basic black cardstock, and this is 7 3/4 by 3 1/4. And I have provided on this PDF, I'll bring this back here. I have provided you with, it'll be there, a template to use for your hat top. And it's just, you're just going to cut it out you'll print it out on copy paper from your copy machine. Take it to your printers or whatever. It wouldn't cost much just to print one little sheet of black and white. And then you're going to cut around that template, and you're going to end up with this. And this is what we're going to use on our piece of basic black cardstock. And I'm just going to take a pencil, grab my pencil, and just hold this down. If you are nervous about it, you could probably use some washi tape to tape it down, but I'm just going to hold it down and take my pencil all the way around, doing my best not to shift or move it. There we go. So there is your hat top. And then I'm going to grab some scissors. Oh my gosh, I am sorry. That scared me. And cut this out. When I'm cutting something large like this with long lines, I like to grab my longer scissors as opposed to like some little paper snips that I would normally use for card making or small cuts. I like to just pull out these long ones. but no big deal, whatever you prefer and whichever is easiest for you. Okay, there's our top hat portion. Now we're going to bring that template back, and you'll notice the dotted line, and I am going to drag or grab my Stampin' Pierce mat. Here it is. And a stylus. And again, I'm using my Stampin' Pierce mat because it's soft. And I'm going to just create a score line by dragging my stylus along this dotted line. This is about 1/4 of an inch up from the edge. And I'm going to do that a couple of times. If you don't have a Stampin' Pierce mat, you could use a mouse pad or a piece of cardboard or something that's going to add a little cushion underneath so that your template doesn't tear, and you'll end up with that little score line. Now I'm going to take my fingers and just very gently, my fingernail, and just very gently crease this score line. I hope you're beginning to see what is going to be the top hat. And once you've kind of gotten it going, you can use a little bit more elbow grease and get that nice and crisp. Now, we're eventually going to roll this around, and so we're going to want to put some little tabs in our little, I call this a tab, it's a panel. So I'm just going to cut some triangles out of here, and this will make it so much easier to curl into a round tube, which is basically what we're going to do. See, I already tore it right here because it just doesn't want to go in that direction. So I'm just using my paper snips and cutting little triangles out. I'm not cutting past that score line. And what we're doing is creating little tabs, and we're going to add some adhesive to those tabs, and that's what's going to adhere it to the base of our little snowman hat. So there we go. I think that'll work. Now, I've went ahead and cut a circle out of some basic black cardstock, and all the supplies I'm using today will be listed on that PDF when you go to my blog, or if you're on my mailing list, you would have received the link to it in your mailbox. So if you're not on my mailing list, please go. I'll put the link down below in the description, and you can go sign up for that so you don't miss 1 week of the 12 weeks of Christmas. For the base, I used the largest circle die from our Layering Dies circles, and I went ahead and cut that out. And then I'm going to take some Terran tape and put on the outside edge of one end of our hat. So we're going to glue this together. And then I'm going to take some multi-purpose liquid glue. And before I do that, I'm going to kind of curl this hat with my bone folder. See how I'm taking my bone folder and just breaking down the fibers? I'm very gently just kind of introducing it to a curl. This is going to be the top of our box. So after I've done that, now I'm going to take some liquid glue because I have these tiny, tiny little tabs, and I'm just going to put a dot on each of these tabs. And before I put it on the base of the hat, I'm going to go ahead and line up the ends here with that tear and tape. And then we're going to just kind of push these in. I could have waited until this point to put the glue on those tabs, but we're fine. Then I'm just going to gently press this down, making sure the tabs go in. And I'm going to hold this for a second, and this is going to hold our hat top in place. And in a minute, we're going to add another circle that I've cut out right inside there, and that's going to help hold everything down. But since this is liquid glue, we want to give it a second to just grab on and dry a bit, not too long. Okay, so there we go. You can kind of use your fingers if you might have, like I did, made that a little less round. And because we used liquid glue, we can reposition it if we find out we haven't got it in the center. But I don't think it needs to be, you know, precise. And I always like to have the seam in the back. So I want to make sure that my front rim is the prettiest. Okay, I'm going to take this circle, which I believe it's a 1.5 inch circle. So it's third from the smallest of the layering circle dies if you're using those. And I'm just going to add some of that liquid glue there and place that right in the bottom of the hat. That's going to give it a little extra stability and hold those tabs down a little bit for us. But once that glue dries, we are good to go. Okay, that's it, you guys. That's how easy that hat is. Now, we're going to embellish it a little bit. And what I have done is I've taken a 1/2 inch by, I believe this is 6.5. Yes, a 1/2 inch by 6.5 of the Cottage Designer Series paper. I'm just going to pull my product list over here so I can make sure I'm giving you the correct names of everything. Gingham Cottage, hence the gingham. And then I'm going to take my liquid glue and just run a small little bead right around the base where we're going to add our gingham paper. You might have a fun ribbon that you would like to add. I'm going to start on my back seam, and I'm just going to wrap this around. Making sure it's pretty secure. Like I said, the liquid glue will take a second to take hold. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to that end of that strip. Okay, I'm going to hold that just for a second. Isn't that cute? Okay, then I'm using the Christmas Banners bundle to embellish the hat. So I'm going to take one of the dies, or I've already taken one of the dies, this pretty little fir or evergreen branch. And of course, I had to cut that out of shaded spruce because what other color would you want? And then I'm going to take the little holly leaf image and stamp that onto some basic white with garden green. I want to use just a little bit different color of green so they don't, you know, kind of disappear into each other. So there's my 2 leaves. And there is also a coordinating die in this bundle for the holly leaves. There are actually 2, which I am using. And I have already done that, so you didn't have to watch me do all that. So we've already cut those out with our Stampin' Cut emboss machine. Now I'm taking a 3/8 inch, a little over 2 inches of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to take some Memento Black and the Just For You sentiment. Now you'll notice that kind of curls. It's curled so it will fit into the banners on this set. But because it's photopolymer, I can reposition it on my block, which is what I've done, or I'm trying to do. And I can use my grid paper to make sure that that is pretty straight. I'm not real concerned. I'm not going to be that persnickety about it. I'm going to try and do this here. There we go. And it's a little crooked, but not because of the curl, but because I didn't stamp it straight. But since we're going to curl that banner, I think that'll be just fine. I could redo it if I wanted to, but it's not concerning me. So before I put that sentiment tag on, round cylinders don't like to sit very well. Okay, I am going to place my little fir, I keep calling it a fir, like an FIR branch, but an evergreen branch. I'm just going to add a little of the multi-purpose liquid glue, and that was probably too much, but no worries because it will dry clear. And I want it to be kind of jaunty and off to the side. So I'm kind of putting it on there at an angle. All right, now I'm going to add my holly leaves. And again, I'm just going to add a little glue there. I don't think I popped them up. No, I just glued them down there. You could probably put a mini dimensional on there and pop them up a little bit, but I did not. Okay, now I'm going to just kind of tuck my sentiment in there, but before I do that, I'm going to trim just a tiny bit off. I'm going to flag the ends, and to do that, I'm just going to cut down the center of that 3/8 inch strip and then come up from each corner. Just to make it a little banner shape. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and kind of curl it this way and then the other way. I want it to kind of look like it's blowing in the wind. See, it's got a little bit of a then I'm going to do a little liquid glue. I'm just testing it out where I want it before I put the glue on there. And I'm going to tuck that under that holly leaf just a little bit. We're going to add our little rhinestone jewels here in a sec. And then right there where I made that little fold, I'm going to add a mini glue dot. And that's going to hold that edge down. And kind of hold that little blowing in the wind look. See, I'm going to kind of bend that. And see how that made that look like it's curling like a ribbon or a flag? I just kind of like to do that once in a while on my projects. And then we're going to finally add our rhinestone jewels. And they are in my craft drawer. So if you will hold on, I will be right back and we'll finish this project. Okay, we're going to add 3 of our little red rhinestones. At the base of those holly leaves. They'll look like little holly berries down there. And that is the project for today. I cut up some real red cardstock, very thin little strips, and then crumbled them up in my hands and create, just to make some filler, or you could buy purchase filler. But once you get your treats in there, you'll find that you really don't need a whole lot of filler. Like I said, you could put some candy in there. You could put some a gift card with some candy. You could put multiple things in here. I just think these are so adorable. I've been waiting a couple of Christmases. I've always had this in the back of my mind, and I'm so glad I finally made them. And I hope you enjoyed this project. Please sign up for my mailing list so you don't miss next week's PDF tutorial, and join me again for 12 Weeks of Christmas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.